Right, so we're going to call this the Ultimate 1600 build. Not this particular engine, but I'm going to talk to you guys about what you could put in basically a stock block and get basically the most horsepower out of it. I believe you could get up to around 100 horsepower. It'd be very close to that out of the 1600 block by just doing basically parts that just slide into the existing block and still be pretty bulletproof and not, do anything that's going to really be out of line with that. I always stay in that bulletproof zone. Not totally what bulletproof is. And again, bulletproof is a very loose term when it comes to Volkswagens. I mean, 1937 technology, 38 technology, and we're turning it into 100 horsepower. So keep that in mind. So this engine isn't actually going to be a 1600. It's going to be on the 85 and a half openings in the case. So you basically have a stock case that's not been machined. Again, you need to start always with a good line bore. So your case better be in good shape if you're going to build something like this. But it's something that you could do partial. You can use a lot of these pieces and ideas to put your engine together on basically a budget, which is what the other video was about, the budget 1600, the ultimate budget, and kind of stair step your way up to this build, which I'm going to talk to you guys about. So basically, you have a couple options depending on your budget. You can go with a regular stock Volkswagen crankshaft, which doesn't have counterweights on it. It doesn't look like this one. Okay, you can go with a regular stock crankshaft. You can and you can put in your cam and whatever, or you can actually use a 74 if you've got money to do that. You can go with one of these 74 cranks. These drop in the stock without machining the block much. There's a little bit to do, like right here, the tops and bottoms of the cylinders. You might have to do a little bit. You have to drop it in and check it and all this stuff. You can watch the next video on this 74 stroker engine, and we'll kind of show you a little bit about how we do that and learn that. And you can incorporate any of these things from any of our engine build videos to make just about any good combination of engine that you want to make. But I'm just throwing the idea out there with this one. So what you do is what I would do, the ultimate one would be put a Engel 110 or a Web 86 cam in it. Okay, depending on which one you want to go with. If you go with the Web 86 cam, you're going to want to put the ratio rockers on it. All right. So you go with your Engel 110 cam or your Web 86. You have your stock crankshaft, the Volkswagen crankshaft. You don't necessarily have to go with this one. This could be a step that up to an 1800 engine by running this crank. You get the 88 slip-on cylinders. Now the 88 slip-ons, they have two different ones. They have the 88 that goes in the 90 and a half in the case, but on the heads, the 88 that goes in the 88, 85 and a half on the case, but on the heads, you put the 90 and a half heads on it. So what you would do is put your whole bottom end together with the 85 and a half case here, and then you would put the stock crank in it. You put the stock rods in it. You put everything with your Engel 110 cam. You put it all together, and then what you do is you put your slip-on cylinders in there. You get the 88 thick wall cylinders is what they're called. So you have to order them special. They don't always have them in stock. 88 thick wall cylinders. You put those on, and then at that time you do your deck height. When you do your deck height, then what you do is you tell the place that you're getting your heads from that you want them machined to a high compression ratio. So with that cylinder, we think that you could run up to 9-to-1 compression and still run on pump gas, because you have a really thick wall cylinder to help dissipate some of that heat that you're going to get. So, you know, it all depends on how far you want to go. I would say 8.5 would be a safe zone. 9 would be pushing it to the limit, but you would get the most horsepower again out of having that compression with that cylinder. So then what you do is you take those measurements in there. You tell the place you order the heads from. You say, look, I want to go ahead and order these for 90.5s, and I want them CC'd for 9-to-1 compression or 8.5-to-1 compression, whichever way you want to go. And then you would get the 40-35 valve single high rev springs that come with it, and they come with the large ports. Now you could, after you got the heads home, you could go ahead and port them out and port match your intake manifolds a little bit more than what's on them, depending on what you want to do. This is just the idea. You do what you want to do with it. You take it as far as you want to go. And then what you do is you put those heads on, and then for carburation, the ultimate I would say would be the 40 Webers. If you can get the ampy ones, they work all right. You get the 40 Weber replacement carbs, and then you Venturi those down to probably a 30. I don't know if you get a whole 40 on that engine. Maybe it might even work with a 40, but it'd be pushing it. You know, you'd have to play around with your carbs a lot before you finally got it to the right setup. And then you would have basically a screaming 1600 block engine. Now, you could step that up one more time. If you had enough money when you did the build, you could get the 74 crank. You could get the rods that I have here. These are the I-beam rods from AA, already clearanced. So that's the reason you get these. They're basically stock length. They're already clearanced for this. You go ahead and put that in there. Put this crank and rod setup in there. You could run 85.5 cylinders if you wanted to go there, or you could go straight to the 88s, like I was just saying. Run the 88s in there. You go with the 40-35 valve heads from AA. They bolt right on with the 90.5 openings if you go with the 88s. And then you just go ahead and put your big carburetors on there. That is basically the ultimate stock case build that you can build right there. You could build that and have a super fast car without going big stroker motor. You know, you don't have to. A lot of people think you got to get into the 2-liter to be fast. Something like that would be exhilarating to drive. You could drive it and you could have a whole lot of fun with that. So just an idea to throw out there. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to watch this engine build. But these engine builds are all so that you can look at all the different ones and then figure out what's the best combination for you. All right, and this is just ideas that I'm putting out there on these.